Okay, the last module of Unit 3 is Module 18. It's called Human Population Dynamics and the Demographic Transition. And so AP College Board likes to ask a lot of questions about the demographic transition model. Sometimes I use the acronym DTM to represent that. We're going to watch a nice video in class that really talks about that in more detail. And then here's something that I think you should really understand is this table 18.1. It's the different factors that contribute to both population growth and population decline. So this is something that you should know, and this is going to tell you the general trends that lead to both an increase in growth and a decrease in growth. Okay, important calculations for this section or this module would be the rule of 70. It allows you to calculate the doubling time for a population. This is even important for local municipalities, for states, for countries to understand how long it's going to take their population to double in size. Doubling in size means 100% increase in the number of individuals. It's important to understand, what age range these individuals are in. So if you have a huge growth in your school-age children, then you're going to need a lot more infrastructure to be able to educate them if you're a developed country. Or if you have a lot of senior citizens, then you're going to need a lot of healthcare and hospital access for your aging population. So understanding the trends with the population, but also the doubling time. How many more people are we going to have in an area? That means we need better infrastructure all the way around. That's something that's really important to know. And so using the rule of 70 is how we get there. You take 70 divided by whatever the rate is, and that will tell you how much time in years it'll take for your population to double. Or just using the simple rules of math, we can cross multiply here and flip this around, and we can also calculate the rate of time, like the population rate, so that percentage, it's going to be equal to 70 divided by how many years it takes to double, and that tells us again that percent rate of growth. So that's all really important to know. And then AP exam tip, I wanted to just sort of point this out to you. On the exam, you might be given the initial population and the final population, and then you have to look at how many times it's actually doubled. So if it's a 200% increase, then you would say that the population doubled twice. And if it's got a doubling time of 7 years, then you would know that over 14 years, the population actually doubled twice. Okay, so make sure that you understand that. They've thrown that into some FRQ questions before, and that really throws people off. But honestly, I just make a chart and I figure it all out. Kind of the same thing I do when we're talking about like radioactive decay, which I know you've all been through chemistry, but when we're talking about radioactive decay, you can just make a chart and figure out how many half-lives we've been through. Same principle kind of here. How many times has the population doubled over time? Okay, so let's move on. This is the demographic transition chart. Some social scientists are actually saying that we're in a 5th stage, although that's still highly contested, and AP environmental science hasn't really said that we're in a stage 5 at this point, so we're going to stick with 4 stages. And you should understand what each of these stages mean and what characteristics of the population or what factors is that population experiencing during that time to put them into that stage, whatever the stage might be. So again, go ahead and look through this, make sure that you understand these different things. This information does come up on tests, so make sure that you understand that. Okay, here we're going to move into how population and resource consumption influence population growth. And then again, I just can't say enough about these visual representations at the end of each of the units. We're kind of at the end of Unit 3 now. This is a really good thing to look over. If somebody wants you to ask, like if you want somebody to quiz you over the unit, especially if it's somebody that's not in this course, they could just go to this page and ask you a bunch of questions about Unit 3, and that will help you as you're studying for the test. So again, these are great pages to look over, so make sure you do that. You've also got your Module 18 review. Here's some science skills you can practice, some critical thinking questions. Those are always good to look over for AP environmental science. And then you've got your entire thing of unit, or your entire section here of a Unit 3 review test that you can take at the back. And then we'll move into Unit 4 next time. So I will see you all later. Make sure you're asking me questions in class.